This is the Uniformation Gk Two. And my name is your dad. If you are 3D printing or into 3D printing in any way, shape or form, and you're interested in the latest models and things like that, this video is gonna be for you because this is a new model from Uniformation, and I'm gonna tell you all about this machine's features, what it does, and why is it worth you even looking at. First off, for those who like the K number at the end of their machine, this is an 8K machine. It also has a screen of 10.3 inches, so it's no smallie either. It's not the biggest, but it is definitely fits perfectly into that medium-sized printer, which enables you to print pretty much almost all size statues or models, or whatever the heck it is you're printing. A couple of other features that may keep you interested in watching this video and finding out more about this machine are a flip-up cover and clips for the build plate. This means you save space as well as time when you are doing your machine, when you're removing prints. As well as its generous resolution, allowing you to print down to 29.6 microns, it also has a heater built into the printer. This, I think, should be an industry standard, and for this alone, I would suggest looking at the rest of this video to see if this machine is something you might like in your arsenal of machine printing farms, because we all know you have 100 machines, because that's just what it's like. Aside from its sleek and clean looking design, this is a modern looking printer that gives so many awesome features, and one of those features is actually a removable carbon filter. This has magnets in it and it just pretty much sits there like it goes in. The design itself has a flip up lid which is designed to save you space in your area of printing. Usually moving the hood is quite a mission, especially if you don't have space and you got nowhere to put it. All the screens are protected by a film during shipping, which is a good thing because that means you get your printer in a really good condition. The unboxing experience of this machine, for me, was a really good experience, to be honest. It actually went together really easy, and pulling off all these friggin' tabs is one of the funnest things ever. One thing Uniformation is doing differently is the way they have the VAT mount to the printer. This doesn't have any screws on the side at all. This slides in and holds in place very well and doesn't have any issues with coming out at all. The screen is really nice to look at. There is no thing that I could think that was wrong with the screen. The screen does exactly what I would expect a screen to do on a 3D printer. One of the first things that is a good thing to do when you get a new printer is to run a screen test and check that your screen is working. In this case, you get these two little things. I also ran a clean VAT cycle just to see if the full screen had no weird patches in it or anything weird like that. Having a look at the build plate, there is this anti-drip lip around the edge of it, meaning that you shouldn't drip any resin when you pick this out and try to move it across your room to take off the bulb that you've just built inside of your 3D printer. Also, there is a really slightly different leveling method for this printer. They suggest to put a piece of A4 paper and then 4 little papers in each corner. And essentially what you do is you unscrew one screw to move the plate up or down, and the other screw tightens it to keep it in place where its new position is. And you go around all 4 corners and make sure that the little piece of paper that you put underneath in the corner has just enough to slightly move, but is quite tight. I went quite tight in my case, and as soon as it's just right, then you know that your leveling is correct. My machine, it was not leveled when I got it. Maybe I could have increased my bottom exposure or something, but realistically I needed to level mine. But they do say that they come leveled, and in your case, if it doesn't come leveled, it's really easy to level it yourself. Now the first thing I always do when I get a 3D printer is to print in a Mirror Labs town. It takes longer than any other resin testing, exposure test that you can cookie thing, whatever it is. I use this test because it's a reliable test for me. It doesn't matter what you want to use, but after I was sure that my tests were certainly exactly where I want my exposure to be, I started firing out prints. And as you can see, I had absolutely no adhesion issues to the plate. The plate stuck magically. Once I had got my bottom exposures right, everything stuck honestly like magic, and it comes off super easy. One of the easiest experiences I've had with removing supports so far in a 3D printer. The other thing is, because obviously it has a heater in it, this keeps the resin at a temperature that is good for printing. The printer can keep an automatic constant temperature of 25, 30 or 35 degrees Celsius, which is really, honestly, this is the most important thing about this machine for me, and you can see this in the prints. The machine delivers. Every single thing that I've printed out of this machine has honestly been absolutely perfect for me. I was waiting for this machine because specifically for that heater. That honestly, temperature helps so much when it comes to your prints. I used to believe it didn't. I am now a true believer of the temperature, and as you can see by these prints, it makes a difference. That is for sure. And while we look at the prints that this printer can produce, I'd like to also explain that the screen that is underneath that vat apparently has a quick change LCD module, which essentially means it's 4 screws. You pull up the screen and there's one plug, easy peasy. You don't have to be an electrician or mechanical genius to be able to change the LCD on these printers, so this makes it even more user friendly. All these features make this printer, in my opinion, one of the easiest printers you can get as a beginner in 3D printing, because it just has everything that's going to make you succeed and have wonderfully successful prints. I absolutely love my printer, and I'm so glad that I got to test it. Now I hope that you've taken something out of this video that might help you making a choice in your personal 3D printing purchases in the future. Of course, there will be a link for this machine that I've spoken about in my description, so if you're interested in buying from that link, that does help the channel with a small commission towards us at no extra cost towards you. Now, of course, speaking of support, if you want to support the channel in any other way, the most important thing you can do is share this video with your gran. We all know she wants to know about 3D printers too. But the next step is probably to join the Patreon. Let me explain a little bit about Patreon. For me, Patreon is a place where you can support me and the videos that I create. If you want to see more videos in the future, it's pretty simple. YouTube don't pay as well as they should, and maybe I just don't get enough views, but I don't earn enough from YouTube, and so the Patreon is one of the ways you can supplement my income and keep me making videos. And in order to make the videos, I need to spend the time that I should be working a real job, and I'm not doing a real job. I'm making videos instead, so if you want to see videos, then the best thing you can do is support me on Patreon, because that 100% helps keep the lights on and blinding my eyeballs in order for me to keep making videos. I've said making videos way too many times. It is time to stop saying making videos and time for me to get onto the part of the video where I tell you, if you don't like anything you saw in this video, I don't really care. In fact, no one cares. And now is the time for you to actually just f off. One of these days, the sponsors are going to complain about my ending of my videos, but they're not allowed to, because that is a tradition now.